All right, great. So you can join us. The background is working today for some reason. So I'm going to have another background. I'm going to test out another background. We'll see how things go with that. Not today. Maybe tomorrow. Probably not tomorrow either, but sometime this week. They'll still tear it down, but we're going to try something different. Should be wider. Should be a lot longer. So for the background, they can still tear it down. The cats are here. They're just in the background. They're just they're knocked out. So yeah, the energies are different. Something's going on. As usual, something's always going on, but feels, I don't know, something else is going on. So we're in April, and maybe April 14th, 12th, who knows, where weirdness will start to occur. It's really hard to say at this time. So this is UFO disclosure. Chief, I'll just go into that a little bit. This whole thing has to do with it, actually. Chief of Naval Operations. So I'm going to give you my take of the person in that position. And I feel like it's a clone. I do feel like there's a clone energy going on there. Obviously, like mental manipulation. I feel like that person is like a figurehead, meaning there's another person, a shadow person behind that position. Basically, as a person in charge of the Navy, which is a big deal. Yeah, as a shadow, obviously it's all shadow, but there is it feels like a male energy. I would say is older, but I feel like one that's behind it is 20 years old, which is interesting, but very connected, very, very, very shadowy. 20 years old is kind of strange. Why would you? Yeah, at least the energy of the person feels like it's 20. Probably not the age of 20, but it feels young. So, well, when you're manipulating realities, it's hard to say. So Stargate project remote viewing, ESP espionage. That's really what this is about. So it goes into UFO disclosure. So I'm not sure if it'll even channel anybody. We'll see. Last time I went deep into this, my cat died. Just to say. So the stuff that's connected to Stranger Things. So we'll see. I don't think there was no coincidence there either. So now, why the government would do that? Obviously, is the shadow side of it, where they're just spoiled, kind of educated, arrogant. That's the shadow government. Ill-tempered, meaning they get mad, they do things they shouldn't be doing. And they're in our reality. These aren't just alien beings. Alien beings can only do so much. Obviously, people in our reality can do whatever the hell they want. So, yeah. Yeah, so I guess we're not doing softball today. So, I guess, it's, I don't know. The spiritual community has a long ways to go for. I know they're big on this whole ascension thing and all of that, and that's fine, but probably be like 2,000, 3,000 years. At this rate, it's going to be a long time. So it might sound good, it might look good that the world's going to evolve, but you can be 80 years old realizing the world's not really ascending all that much. I mean, you might be ascending, maybe, if you're lucky. The rest of the world still has to go through what it's going to go through. I mean, if you're going to be real, obviously, that's not a good selling point, which is unfortunate. It's like, just do your job, put your information out there. People don't take it. Who cares? Like, yeah, this is going to go on for a long time, the way things are right now. So, yeah, it's almost like trying to stay away from the main subject matter of yourself. It's like, all the aliens or the guides and all that, and that's fine, but you're not always connecting to what the hell you gotta go pull out of yourself and remove. That's a little bit more tricky. So it doesn't mean you have to publicize it to the world. Some might feel that makes them feel good, and that's fine, but you don't have to do that. As long as you know what you yeah, you know your stuff. That's all that matters. Yeah, the world doesn't need to know anything. The world's got enough problems. As I'm told, I come here prep sessions. I have a schedule here. I'm on. Good question. I'm on the 20th, so March 20th, 21st. Okay, so we have this. Hopefully, I got this working all right. The schedule. I think I got the schedule. All right, yeah. So this is for May. So I have a calendar just for this. I didn't have that before. So this is Central Time calendar. Of course, this is for this conference that's coming up. So those that scheduled in the other calendar, they're on this calendar now. But yeah, this is all Central Time, and that's about. This is just an easy way of signing up for the conference. Of course, tickets I believe are still available here. So yeah, obviously this is in person. If you want to do it by Zoom and we're in the same room, we can do that. Spirits. Anyway, we have this webinar and social network behind the scenes. Yeah. So this is like, I guess this is like in charge of the Navy. Yeah, I'm assuming it is. Man, they got so many divisions in the government. I mean, how does anybody keep track of all? I guess that they're not supposed to. So anyway, I do feel a lot of cloning technology is done on him. I do feel like there's obviously a lot of shadow people around him. But I still feel like, yeah, it's like a 20-year-old around him, like a shadow government. That's the most bizarre. I don't know what that means. They might be just 20 years old. They might not feel like 20. It feels like it is a 20-year-old, which I normally don't pick up on ages like that. But either way, it's people that know what they're doing, at least behind the scenes. Obviously, we're just a bunch of pawns in all of this, but same as now this guy definitely knows a lot what's going on. He doesn't know everything, but he knows quite a bit. Obviously, he knows about the illegal activity, especially in the government. Obviously, doesn't say anything because he has a family. So, not to nitpick him or anything like that, but yeah, because family first and corruption second. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, these people know a lot. The government is so fucking evil. Jeez. And it's funny, though. I'm not sure if it's funny, but it has a lot of Russian influence here. Not necessarily that's negative, but there's a lot of Russian. I mean, obviously, the war and all of that. Yeah, that's probably why I'm feeling the Russian energy. Yeah, so it's probably because of that. Yeah, it's definitely on the. Obviously, it's on everyone's conversation list, especially when you're in the military. Yeah, it's just anyway. So yeah, getting a clear connection of all of this. It's like I'm looking at a gallery of clones. I mean, they're cloning. I mean, cloning people isn't that hard on an energy level. So physically, and how hard can it be? They just if humanity begins to shift their energy, which they're not about to do, well, they can, but this will all come to an end. But not yet. So, anyways, the Stargate project. So it has the movie Men Who Stare at Goats. That's where I got the thumbnail from. I guess they stare at the goat trying to kill it, which is that's messed up. But welcome to the military. Obviously, all this stuff is shadow. Now it's still going on. I don't think they're trying to kill goats. They're probably trying to do it to people now. But yeah, I'm surprised they even allow it to go public. But I guess because they have to tell us stuff, but it's all shadow now. Every bit of it. They're still doing everything. I'm not sure about the whole goat thing, but they're definitely trying to see the future. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. Either way, it is obviously a controversial side of the government. It's not always taken seriously, but they have to explore all everything. Like 9/11, that was done on a ritual date. So this stuff still matters. it's just, yeah, it's kind of messed up, obviously. Well, when you have like these mystics and all that in the government, they're talking, so I'll just say it where it's at. It feels like it's in Nevada. Obviously, it's in other places in the U.S., but Nevada seems to be a strong place where all this is happening. It's not the main place. Well, it's one of them. It's a maybe it's a main. I don't know. It's there. It's underground. Obviously, of course, they have a lot going on in Nevada. There's also some German energies there, cloning energy there. I know we don't really see the cloning stuff physically. You don't actually see a person being cloned, which would be awesome and messed up at the same time. First, see a whole bunch of Joe Bidens in there, learn how to walk and chew gum. I still think Biden's gonna maybe be the president forever, just a skeleton just walking around. I think that'll be all right. I'm not sure if people will wake up, but it would just be neat to see actually. We already see Nancy Pelosi as practically a skeleton. So Biden just needs to get to the Nancy Pelosi side of looking like a skeleton person. There we go. We're set. But yeah, the Stargate stuff, is some major shit, obviously. Yeah, they're doing remote viewing, obviously, but it is not taken full seriously about the whole government, but they know what's going on, at least those that are in the know. I mean, obviously there's an area where they take it very, very seriously. Well, because they create the environment where it's okay to be a remote viewer and go deep and get better and better at it, which is kind of twisted when you think about it. Well, their intentions aren't exactly the best. And then they hire other companies to do it, which says a lot. It's like, it's not the best energy. Not how they use it. So anything government related obviously is shit, basically. I mean, if they're trying to feed humanity at all, which that's not going to happen, trying to save their ass more likely. So, and I don't know if they keep an eye on me or anything like that. I doubt it. Who knows? This is a place that a lot of people they're scared to go and all that. There's nothing to be afraid of. If they kill you, they're probably doing you a favor. But yeah, this stuff. Yeah, they're doing it on a Project Montauk. None of that stuff went away, obviously. But yeah, so it does. So what I'm getting, so the remote view room, at least what I feel, it's like a black room, like a white floor. And they tune in. I don't think they wear like a headset. Technically, kind of like a VR set, but probably not. Probably just something to put over your eyes. It's really hard to say what that's about. But I can see them putting a headset on just to, because it feels like the tone, the music, they do things around them so that they can tune in. Obviously, they trained everyone to get comfortable with it. And so, they get comfortable with it, but they also test them, meaning they go and validate their connections. And when they know that they're being pretty much accurate, obviously no one's ever 100%, not with stuff like this. But when you get pretty decently accurate, they can, they'll it's information. So like the whole Russia thing, obviously they can see in the future, which is kind of messed up because it feels like they go into the future at least 10 years, which is no surprise. I feel like 10 years, but they're not really sure, but they go by that type of psychic data to plan their elitist world takeover, whatever it is, sex change operations that they're planning, whatever they're doing for themselves. So yeah, it's government. At least the elitist version of the government. They're just that's the thing. When you're like a powerful elite person, they're very evil, but they're also very paranoid and weak when it comes down to it. They're very powerful, but they're also sometimes scared they might lose their power. So they act all intimidating, supposedly strong, and all that, but they're just a bunch of pieces of shit when it comes down to it, and they know it. And a lot of the elite energies, they are deteriorating. at the same time. But it doesn't mean you have a new breed of pieces of shit to take their spot. So whatever. Well, I say that because they have no good intentions, really. Not really. Some do, most don't. It's almost like a rotting corpse. Is the elite energies. I mean, they're alive. I guess they smell okay and all that, but they're kind of rotting at the same time. They just might not know it. I feel a rotting energy coming from them. But yeah, it's so like an underground black room. The NSA has something like that somewhere. It might not be too prominent, but some things they want to figure out. Like an event happened on the world, during today, like Iran or something like that. They can call in a remote viewer to tune into it and see what else they see. Like what should they do? So they have. This can't be right. 10,000. No, because I'm tapping into it. So I don't know if this is accurate. 10,000 remote viewers. How can that be not true? Well, anyway, I just put it out there. That's the vibe I'm getting. Where the hell are they? Obviously, not all of them are active. Yeah, that's a strange number for that. I mean, I guess worldwide, that number is pretty small. So that might not be actually wrong. It's definitely not just the U.S. government. There are other governments, obviously. China, because that doesn't mean that's the U.S. government. That's not clear what that means. That number is connected to, but China feels like it has more remote viewers than anyone. Doesn't mean that they're right, but they have more. They always have to have more, at least at some level. Remote viewers are a little bit easier for them to connect to. Obviously, they don't fully believe it either, but I feel like there's a part of them where they experiment with it. They have to do what other people do. So they have to copy everyone. So obviously, I do see aliens. Obviously, those have been remote viewers. You want to see an alien pop up, especially when you're doing it full time, and it's okay. You're allowed to do it, and you feel comfortable with it, and you're in an environment where it's very welcoming for it. So doing remote viewing is like, oh wait, I just connected to an alien being, and this is kind of messed up when you're not used to it. So yeah, they can connect to aliens pretty easily when you're, like I said, in the right environment. Now, people might say it's a trickster energy and all that. There might be that here and there, but overall, it's the real deal. Of course, society in general is, taking a nap for now, but society, those that need to know will know. So the Navy, we're kind of going backwards. The Navy is doing, Project Montauk, like same thing as pretty much, but using the mind to like use telekinesis, stuff like that. There's more to it than that, but like basically like Stranger Things, read minds. But I feel like there's like a weapon or something in the satellite technologies. Obviously, it's used against humanity to get people to be more. Yeah, it sends sound waves, obviously lights, like signals. We don't see them here physically, but to get people to be it's done in billboards and things like that, at least in big cities, to send out a signal to program. So I feel like a lot of that's going to break down. Not yet, but yeah, it's just, and of course it's done through television too. They have like little sensories connected to that, but usually they get them at the young age. The older ages, it doesn't work as much anymore. The younger age, it really works. So obviously. All right. All right. Because the UFO disclosure energies, of course, this is all technically connected to that. So connect to, connected to Arcturians because it's just a lighter frequency. That's all. Zetas kind of freak people out a little bit, so just connect to the Arcturians. They just seem to pop up every once in a while. That's just, it's I don't know, trying to be a normie, trying to be a a good what do you call it, a good new ager trying to conform to the system, trying to be a little bit relatable, even if I fail on all levels. Obviously, the this project Stargate and all that. That's the thing about this whole. I mean, when you get to stuff that they don't want you tapping into, they will mess with you mentally, physically, and all that. So, I'm not going to go into too much detail on that, but yeah, obviously, I'm not tapping into certain things that wouldn't be here right now. So it has to be general, just like with a reading, like you get with tarot cards or just a channeling. It has to be general because you have to figure things out. Doesn't mean you have to figure out what the government's doing. Some people will. Well, a lot of it's archon energy. It's a little bit of everything. They have issues. I mean, obviously the government has a lot of issues. I mean, if there's any patient that has the biggest problem, it's them. But they'll leave when humanity feels like it doesn't need it anymore. Humanity feels like it can heal itself finally. The next while, without putting out a number, then the government, all this manipulation just disappears. It hasn't happened yet. Well, yeah. Well, it has improved a little bit. It's not like the Roman times, but it's not exactly. We kind of improved, sort of. All right, so okay, we're going to. I feel like our Arcturian energies. At least that's the one that's showing up. All right. What's this? Greetings. We all are Arcturians. Greetings. Yes, there are levels, yes, where of growth that many are not ready for or want to put themselves in. Anybody can connect to those frequencies, of course. UFO energies or government manipulations, whatever it might be. They're here to basically heal the synchronicities of the government manipulations on humanity. So eventually humanity will put a stop to all of this. But right now it's still trying to figure it all out before it heals the negative manipulations of remote viewing. Because remote viewing also can put thoughts in your mind too. Those are extremely advanced. Well, they work with others to do like a mind control energy. So eventually, humanity will figure these things out to some level. The Navy, is basically a government front for what shadow systems. So they basically just to, do what they're being told, basically. Yes, there are a lot of wizard energies. There's a lot of occult frequencies that they don't make public behind the scenes. Yes, those that do tarot and all of that, but more of the elitists. But they just know, like, anything in their mind just happens. For government influence and all that. A lot of the elites are doing a lot of healing of themselves, trying to rehabilitate themselves because they realize their karma is coming back to them. And so that's where their health decline is actually increasing for many, not all, but a great deal. And that's always been going on for some time. For UFO disclosure energies, there is a block there. I mean, it's not to be brought in too heavily because what you're going on in Russia, it's basically, I mean, yes, there's an alien influence that everybody's signs to some level, but most of the part. And you're just going to stay, aliens are basically just stay out of the way for the most part. This is a human conflict that's going on. Yes, of course, there's some alien influences. Yes, there's many reptilian bases in certain places, but there's also diplomats that have been manipulated throughout a very long time. And in the alien disclosure here, obviously, I mean, the threat of nuclear annihilation is not happening because there is an alien influence here to keep that from occurring. But there's still going to be difficulties that humans have to learn from. As for the Stargate frequency, yes, that's all. Well, they had to bring it to public to a certain level to test it to get people involved with it too, to show people that they're serious. Right now, they don't need to do that anymore. Now it's become silent. Yes, there's a lot of German entities because the Germans advanced themselves within remote viewing. So the remote view feeling a German frequency won't be too foreign. German frequencies are everywhere. A lot of the Germans are actually, some of them are more advanced due to the DNA infusions they received and just basically their culture. Of course, that's more of the shadow government. Your Germany is probably, yes, more of your stronger governments. Yes, you don't hear about it on TV or anything, but it's a heavy influence. I know everyone's putting to Israel and all that, and there is a financial feed into the United States also, but Germany still plays a big part quietly, and that's through genetics, that's through pharmacies, through health. So it's done quietly. Basically, humans are currently being engineered. As you can see, through society is being engineered through schools and all of that. It's become more hostile, at least in the United States. It's it's showing that humanity it's from humanity, at least in the United States, to realize this is kind of like a civil war going on with the school systems. How the kids are being, educated. Is a yes, a indoctrination that's going on currently. It's been going on for some time, but now it's taken to a whole new level. Basically, it shows the state is trying to take over the kids and their mentality, as you can see. And that is German related. It's not entirely Germany, but it has a lot of influence there. Because it shows that the state wants to run your children, and like I said, it's been going on for some time, but they want to truly show their power here. Corporations, of course, corporations in the state usually integrate to get together, so they work behind the scenes with each other. They're showing how far they can get with it. And this is for parents and others to stand up. They feel like they can just put their kids in school and everything will be fine. Obviously, it's not the case. So it does get more people more involved, but there's always going to be a back and forth. Some people will awaken, other people will just say it's fine, no problem, keep doing that. So there's just a lot of tests within this reality that many are not willing to heal just yet. There's a lot of lessons that the parents aren't learning, grandparents haven't learned. Some grandparents have learned, but then the children that haven't learned it. So it depends on the new generations where they want to go. I mean, if the new generation just learn from just don't want to go through all of these lessons anymore, you don't have to go through these lessons anymore, and the world can shift its vibration. Obviously, it's not happening. Well, it can happen, but it has to want to change. And right now, it feels this is normal. What's happening in the school system is normal. What's happening in the government is normal. So it takes it instead. Obviously, it's to change the mindset. It's like it's like saying no, basically. And people are saying no, but the no is not. It's not worldwide. Not worldwide as it could be. So basically, a place like the United States is under like dystopian totalitarian manipulation. If the United States decided, see, it kind of has to hit bottom for it to go up. So it has to get worse and worse from what we're seeing for things to change. Now, it's not the majority, but that's many. Because many they're this is what they need to experience. It doesn't mean they came here to experience that, but they decided to experience it. So many call it normal. Everything that's happening is normal. So when humanity sees that manipulation is not normal, then you have a different planet all of a sudden. So the Stargate projects and all this, the Navy and all of this, is going to continue on. They are building the future to a certain level, but they're also showing that these powers do exist, and humanity can not be afraid of it. So if humanity is afraid of it, they're going to keep doing it no matter what. They're going to exploit it, abuse it. They don't care. They have the power. There is an Atlantean energy that's connected to it. Until humanity wants to know about it, doesn't mean everybody has to know about it, but it's just basically so the manipulations are no longer manipulating anymore. Basically, like within the governments, no longer taking over people, abusing their power and all that becomes a little more peaceful little by little. Obviously, when it becomes peaceful, there's others that are trying to corrupt it, so it goes back and forth, as you can see. So the disclosure right now is within yourself. Yes, it's just not being afraid of what you can connect to. So, blessings.